Alright, we are a go.
Okay. I did Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, and I did the balance of the multiplayer, and I think that the multiplayer for Call of Duty 4 was either one of the most balanced or, if not the best, to come to the multiplayer scene since that game. The three things I'm going to be talking about are the perks, guns, and kill streaks that each balance each other out to make the game overall balanced. And here's the only picture I could find of the perks, like all together. It's kind of blurry, but so you get 3 perk slots, and each of them there's always a counter to them, except for a couple of them. So they made a couple mistakes, but so like for example, the frag ×3 was one of the worst probably decisions that they made, like ever, because it just rains down grenades, and the players can just whip them across the map like they're nothing. They can just throw them over like 3 buildings. I think Bandolier was one of the best first perk slots. It was so simple. It just gave you an extra magazine or 2 at the beginning of the game, so you can last longer. In perk slot 2, Juggernaut was the one that people didn't really like, but I thought it was balanced, perfectly balanced, because you can balance it out if the other player used stopping power, and it would cancel it out essentially. I think let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it for perk 2. And the third perk slot, Martyrdom was one of the really bad ones that people didn't really like, because I mean, you die and then you magically drop a live grenade on your body, and it kills people a lot, because they kill you and they're like, oh, I can run past you, and then no, you're dead.
So that's the teabag counter?
Yeah, the teabag counter, yeah. And another one, there's actually 2 bad ones in perk 3. Dead Silence, there's no counter to that whatsoever. So like you could just sprint around the map, just not making any footsteps whatsoever. Even when jumping off of like a high ledge, you just like nothing. You don't make any sound. And
which perks? You said Dead Silence doesn't have a counter,
yeah.
But you said there's a few that don't, right?
Yeah.
What else doesn't have a counter?
I mean, basically Martyrdom doesn't. Let's see. Frag ×3 doesn't really have a counter. Because I guess, because when players use frag ×3, especially if you're playing hardcore or search and destroy, or hardcore search, you have to wait at the spawn, because they're just whipping nades in every path that you could possibly go to, because players know the maps. So you actually have to wait in your spawn, and it actually gives you a disadvantage, because you're not out on the field.
Do you think it's better just to eliminate those entirely, or is there a way to get counters in that makes sense?
I think it would actually be pretty balanced if they just made it frag ×2 instead of 3.
Yeah.
I mean, it would still be crazy if everybody on the other team took frag ×2 if it was even 2. But I think it would still be a little more balanced, because like just sitting there chucking grenades for 30 seconds, if everyone on the other team has it, it's kind of stupid. And if you're playing hardcore, a grenade will kill you even if it's like moderately far away. So that's one that was didn't really have a counter. As I said, Juggernaut, really, a lot of people hated it, but it really was. There was a counter to it with stopping power.
What did Juggernaut
Hmm?
What did Juggernaut do then?
It gave you more health, basically. Gave you more armor. Hmm?
Couldn't you survive martyrdom with Juggernaut?
Yeah, technically you could. It does help you.
And did Dead Silence mean your day set off Claymore?
No. They eventually went to that in the newer games, because they eventually enabled like pro perks where you had to upgrade it, and then the pro version of that, I think in Modern Warfare 3 maybe, or I can't remember, but the pro version of it eventually led you to not set off claymores.
Okay, so this one it did that.
No, you still set up claymores. You were just super quiet, yeah. And a fun one to actually use was eavesdrop. I mean, it was like a pointless. I mean, it wasn't pointless, but a lot of people didn't have mics. But like, if they did, it would just be fun to just sit around the corner and listen to them talk, and the other team, and just make fun of them. And actually, Sonic Boom for the second perk slot was actually a kind of a good counter to Juggernaut because it makes your grenades have more damage.
Oh.
So that helps against Juggernaut, and so does Stopping Power.
Okay.
And
How does the perk system work? Like,
you get one from each slot.
do you pick them in advance?
Yeah, you just create when you get to level 5, you get to create your class.
And then you could use one each.
One of each, yeah, and then one gun and one secondary gun.
Oh.
Because like back in Call of Duty 4, they didn't implement the point system that they have now, really, where you can only use, like for example in Ghost, they have the point system to where you can actually use the specialist kill streaks, so you can use all like up to 7 perks.
Whoa.
And like only have one gun, or you can use like overkill like they had in here, where you can use 2 like primary guns and only have like a couple perks.
Wow.
So I think that's a good way to balance it out.
Yeah.
But sometimes it gets crazy. So yeah. So here, I probably should have switched that earlier. But here was some of the good and bad perks of what I listed earlier. For the perk 2, the UAV jammer was actually really useful because it was so easy to get a UAV in that game. It was just a 3 kill streak, and yeah, Juggernaut was bad. Yeah, perk 3, another good one was Deep Impact, which it was really helpful, especially if you were using a weaker gun. It helped you get through walls easier.
Did you find that like online people would always choose Juggernaut as a perk?
Yes. And especially when you're sniping, it's annoying. Because if you're sniping against someone, you have Juggernaut, it takes more than one shot to kill them.
Oh.
And it's just like, oh, okay, now they're gone. I shot them. And back in this game, you still regenerated your health, I think it was, and except for hardcore. But it was still a pain in the ass
So you
to go against someone with Juggernaut.
Yeah, so you get like headshot and you just run around the corner and wait till you heal and then.
Yeah. I mean, most of the time headshots killed you, but like especially if you're going against someone with the SMG with Juggernaut, you unload like half a clip into them, they run around the corner and you lose them, and then they just regain all their health back. So Juggernaut was kind of a pain in the ass. You wasted a lot of ammo going against people with it. And then, like I said before, Martyrdom was probably one of the worst. One of the worst combined with Last Stand, which a lot of people didn't like, but I thought it was really balanced. Like, if you took most of your damage and it actually put you like near death, you would go down and you would only have your pistol to shoot people with.
Okay.
But the stupid part about it was, like, I don't think they can actually fix that, like, ever. Because, like, as you're going down, you're, like, invulnerable for, like the second when you're going down to the ground, the animation. So, like, players would keep shooting, and then they'd stop shooting because they're like, oh, they're dead. No, they're going down the Last Stand, then you get the kill always in Last Stand. Because they're invulnerable for a short period of time when they're going down. And that was one big flaw in the perk system for that perk. Here's just overall some of the flaws with the perks and guns in the game and everything. The M16, which was death laser, basically. If you use stopping power with that, it's basically a one-hit kill, even if the person had Juggernaut. I was talking with Max earlier, like the AK is actually a lot better for headshots and it does more damage, like relatively to where you hit them.
Okay.
But the M16, it would like never fail. It was like the perfect gun, and it was good at long range. It was good at short range. It was like an overall like the best gun in the game, and people would abuse it. Like I said before, the grenade perk was Zeus grenades. So people just throw them up in the sky and they just fall from the sky like an airstrike. Dead silence perk, and then there was no host migration. So basically, if at the beginning of the game, if a player got chosen to be the host, if they canceled out or lost connection, it would end the game. So it wouldn't. There's no host migration. So at the beginning of the game, if someone left, then you're just like, oh, game over. I've got to restart and go to a new lobby. And some of the perks, like I say, maybe for Juggernaut right there, that were a mistake / flaw, because I thought of it as a decent perk, but a lot of people hated it. And of course, frags and dead silence, which dead silence doesn't have a counter at all, which that's a flaw, which I don't think they should have had it in the game at all. Because they wanted to be realistic with it, and just to make a perk that makes you totally silent, no matter what you do, like it makes you a ninja, basically. And from a design standpoint, coming from just the perks, it was terrible for people, like I said, in hardcore, for like the frags, and because it kills them so easily, and it makes you basically get spawn trapped without even having to do anything. Other players, they just sit there, they run up like 20 feet, and then they throw grenades at all the lanes that you could possibly run to, and it gives you the disadvantage. And moving on to guns, there was a great variety of guns in this game, especially for a game that's this old. It was 2007 when it came out. So, yeah, there was a big variety of guns and big choices for you to make, especially relative to Call of Duty 2 and 3, to where you couldn't make your own class. They were all just the set classes that you could pick from, so the 5 or 6 or whatever they had. So this was the first Call of Duty that actually made it be able to have customizable classes, and with the perks system and everything. The gun variety in each category, they had so like assault rifle, submachine gun, light machine guns, and sniper rifles. They all had at least one semi-auto, full auto, and a single shot. I mean, except for the pistols, because those were pretty much all semi-auto. Even the Desert Eagle, which was stupid when people would use modded controllers on it. The shotguns at least had a semi-auto or pump, which was the single shot. But it was really balanced in the fact that they had a variety of weapons, to where single shotguns did kind of more damage, because they gave you a disadvantage over like an assault rifle that couldn't go full auto. You can only shoot one at a time per trigger pull. And I actually go into, here's a thing that I found about the damage for each gun, and you can see that for each gun relative to the distance, I think that they could have switched up the distance a little more for how much damage it does for how long it goes. So like it does 70 damage at the closer ranges, and then 56 farther away for the M14. And if you have a silencer on it, are the green ones, how much it reduces the damage.
Oh, okay.
And like here's where what it
the
multiplies
distance
to.
in like half.
Yeah, what it multiplies to, and if you hit the head or torso, which I don't get why some of these are one times if you hit them in the neck. Like that would kill a person if you hit someone in the neck. Those should be at least like 1.3 or somewhere nearer to what a headshot is.
I know why.
What?
I know why.
What?
Those are the shotguns. And if you included the headshot multiplier with the shotgun, because of its random nature, it's not really as much of a reward as much as just a lottery win.
Yeah, because it's a spray. I get that. And you can see how the sniper rifle just like totally, R700 just multiplied everything no matter where you hit them, which was, I mean, it makes sense because it's a high-powered round, and if you hit them in the leg, it should probably blow off their leg. So it kind of makes sense. Like if you hit them in lower torso, upper torso. Limbs were the only one where it's one times, but sometimes if you hit them in the leg, they would still die. It was so powerful. And the guns balanced out really well, like especially for the snipers. Like the Barrett 50 cal is probably one of the best overall around snipers because it gave you the power of a bolt action rifle, and but it was semi-automatic, so you still had that feel to it, and you can keep shooting right away. But it was the biggest recoil like you've ever seen on a gun. Like it shoots up to the top of the screen when you shoot it every time. So it kind of makes sense, and I think it balanced out really well to where you couldn't just spam it wasn't just like a Dragunov where you could just spam the trigger and there's no recoil whatsoever. What else?
Are there any broad changes you would make to this system?
To this
like,
system?
Not to like any specific item, but like as a whole.
Overall?
Yeah.
I think I'd look at the damage over distance maybe more, and maybe calculate more, because for every assault rifle they have the same damage over distance and same damage over distance with the silencer, and they should probably be different. I mean, they are drastically different guns.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all assault rifles, which they should be, like, technically the same. Like, I think that's kind of lazy from a design standpoint, just making all of them the same. I mean, they still have different damage multipliers, but, like, apparently all of them can reach that range, but some of them shouldn't be able to reach that range. For instance, where is it? MP5 for the submachine gun. It says it does. Like it says it actually. This is a good balance. Like it doesn't have really good range, so it goes 1 from 1500 instead of 2000, and it should be like that because it's a submachine gun. It has less power. Shouldn't go as far, but like the damage that it did at range like that was insane. Like sometimes you can snipe people with the MP5. It was stupid.
Huh.
But it was probably one of the best. That was the one SMG that everybody used.
Huh.
The SMG silenced was, or the MP5 silenced was one of the best weapons in the game, in my opinion.
The issue with it is the silencer range.
Yeah, the silencer
It's the
range
same
was.
as the unsilenced range for
Yeah.
the single weapon again, but it's like that.
Yeah, I was noticing.
Yeah, and it only takes off 14 damage for the max damage. So even if you hit them twice, they're dead.
Oh.
Like if they're body shots, torso shots. Let's see. I looked over like all the guns and all the damage, and really one that only stands out was the M16. That was like it was like, if you look at the damage, it's pretty much the same as the other. It says it's the same as the other, like the AK. It says it does the same damage at the longest range that it can do, but it always seemed to come out like on top. Like it always kills you in one hit, no matter like where you were. If you were shooting through a wall, I mean sometimes it would just go through a wall even if you didn't have deep impact. It would just kill everything. That's why everybody dubbed it the Death Laser. I saw a lot of people talking about that on forums and stuff.
Did games ever ban it? I mean, like,
No, they never really fixed it.
yeah.
They just like, oh, it's fine.
Like,
It kills everything.
Sometimes in games like Street Fighter, people say like throws are cheap, so
Yeah.
like you're not supposed to use. You can, but you're not supposed to. Do they ever do anything like that with the M16?
Well, I don't think they really had that option.
Well, like you mean like in like MLG games and like tournaments and
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you're like playing
Okay.
with friends or
Then,
a
yeah.
clan or something.
If they're like MLG games, I'm sure they did stuff like that to where they couldn't use certain perks or anything like stopping power with an M16 or something.
Okay.
But like if it was just regular games, it was
Yeah, you can't.
yeah, you
control
can.
The issue is the M16 has the exact same damage as the AK, but because the AK is automatic and the M16 is burst, when the AK is being fired fully automatic, it has a 700 RPM, but when the actual burst of the M16 is 1100,
that. Okay.
but then it drops down to 450 because of the delay. So it actually deals a lot more raw damage than any other weapon
Yeah.
entire game.
Well,
that
and
works.
it since it is a burst weapon, it doesn't have the kickback that the AK does. If you just hold the AK down, it's gonna go up more than the M16 does.
But here
it's
it's just like
it's just burst. Yeah, it's just it doesn't move. So that's what really made it unbalanced. I think they probably could have fixed it if they made it fully auto and gave it more kick.
okay.
But still, that was one of the worst weapons in the game. Then moving on to kill streaks, they really had the kill streaks down in this game. I think it was really easy and nice and simple. They only had 3, 5, and 7 kill streaks, and 3 was UAV, which shows all the enemies on the map. 5 was the airstrike to your location that you choose, and then a helicopter that just kills enemies. And the big thing about the kill streaks was that if you used, like if you saved your helicopter, you got a helicopter and then you died, and then you used it right when you spawned, it would go towards your other kill streaks when you spawned. So like, and the helicopter was like OP in that game. It would just kill everything. And it would just stack up to your kill streaks again, so you'd get another helicopter from that helicopter. You wouldn't even have to get gun kills. And I think that the easiest way to fix that would be to make it so you have to get gun kills there in kill streaks. Instead, like the other kill streaks shouldn't be able to attribute to earning another kill streak.
There's nothing like cooldowns or whatever?
No. So, I mean, the cooldown is basically on the helicopter. You can't have more than one on the playing field at a time.
Okay.
And I think they last around 2 minutes on the map. Okay. And they actually, I saw a forum of one of the designers talking about it, and it actually apparently picks the player, like the player on the highest team who's doing the best, and it goes for them most of the time, like in descending order of who's doing the best on the other team.
Okay.
But that, I don't know if that's true or not, because I don't really think it was. That's what they said it was based on, but it never really seemed that they worked like that.
That's like Mario Kart or something?
Yeah, like you get better weapons when you're in the back.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, better power-ups. Yeah, that was about it for the kill streaks, I think. Yeah, and I basically just said that. That's exactly what I just said. It comes from, they should actually count towards only gun kills, counting towards kill streaks. That's it. And then just overall, my pros and cons for Call of Duty were that it was the first Call of Duty to have, so it gave you lots of options, lots of gun options, more than the previous Call of Duties, and it just gave you more customization. And then just going a little bit into story, Soap and Price were probably the best 2 main characters of the story that they had. They made the story, what it was. And like I said earlier, the eavesdrop perk was fun, just to hear the other team yelling at each other, especially if they were little kids. And the kill streaks were really simple. They were deservedly earned most of the time, and it didn't encourage people to camp, even though there'd still be campers, because that's what Call of Duty is, and any shooter really.
Yeah.
And all the maps were simple, yet complex, to where they let the players go through. There's a lot of lanes that you can go to. Like, for instance, what was one of my favorite maps was either Overgrown. I can't remember the name of the map that has the road in the center, and it has tanks in the center, and it goes down on each side. No, it's just like destroyed buildings. It's like, I forgot what it's called. No, it's not a swamp. It's just like a destroyed road in the middle. I forgot what that map, but that was probably one of the best, and I feel the most balanced maps.
It's called Ambush.
Ambush, yeah. Good job, Ian. But yeah, there was multiple maps to where this was really the Call of Duty that got the maps right, to where you can actually snipe on most of the maps. You can actually use short range, because they had all the lanes that you can, all the short corridors that you can use short range, but you can also use snipers on most of the maps. And obviously great gun selection, and they had golden guns, which were pretty awesome. Except in this, it was kind of a pain in the ass to get it because you had to get headshots. I'm pretty sure, wasn't it?
What was the
To
M16?
complete
There
there
were
was one golden
challenges.
gun for every category.
Yeah, for every
With
category.
every challenge for every gun in that category.
Yeah.
you get one of them.
So there was a lot of challenges to complete, and they didn't really give you the option to pick your golden gun, which I would have made the game. Like if I would have had a golden MP5 all the way, but they gave you what was the golden gun for the SMG? An Uzi, yeah, which is like I don't use the Uzi. Come on, and they gave you golden Dragunov as a sniper. Like what the hell? No one uses a Dragunov. And
Was
I
there a
just loved
golden
it.
M16?
M16, no, they give you the AK.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure. Like, see, it would have been just simple to just make them choose whatever golden guns they want.
Yeah.
That and the golden Desert Eagle was the pistol that they gave you, and the semi-auto shotgun. And then just overall cons to the game was everything I already explained, which was M16, a lot of grenade spam, no host migration, and the big one that I didn't explain throughout there was no hit markers for flash grenades. So I mean, technically, in real life, you wouldn't know if it blinded them or not. But like in a game like this, to where like you needed to know if it hit them, because if you're just sitting there and they're behind something, you throw 3 flash grenades in there, and it doesn't blind anybody, and they're just sitting there staring at the door, and you just go sprinting in. Your whole team goes sprinting in. Like, it would have been nice to have hit markers for the flash grenades. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. I'm proud of the slides with the glow that I made around everything. It's about the coolest thing that I made.
Did you do that in Photoshop?
Yeah, and just made the backgrounds of the pictures transparent, and then just added the glow to the picture.
Yeah, it looks nice.
For each of the guns and everything. But yeah,
Very nice slide.
that's it.
Oh, you did on the text too?
Yeah, the text. Yeah, I did it on everything.
Nice. All right. So, any comments or questions on this? Parker?
You could make your own park to add. Yeah, you could make your own park to add in.
Oh, jeez. Let's go back to the perk screen.
I was kind of wondering that too, like if there is room for more that were big misses.
Well, if I could add in my own perk. Jesus. I have no idea. That's a difficult question. But like as you can see, they have more perks for perk 3. So maybe you'd want to balance them out a little more. Maybe have God, that's a hard question. Why'd you ask me that? I mean, they do cover a lot of the things in the game where it gives you more damage, extra clip. Bomb Squad makes you be able to see claymores and everything through walls, which that doesn't make any sense. But Jesus. Should have asked me if I could delete any of them.
Alright, if you could delete just one.
Just one?
Yes.
I could delete just one? Oh God. That's hard too. Probably Martyrdom. Because that just was the lamest thing. Like, I'd rather deal with Last Stand
Yeah.
and the invincible frames in Last Stand rather than Martyrdom. Because, like, and if you, like, were holding a grenade, when you died with Martyrdom, you would drop 2 grenades.
Awesome.
So it was stupid. Just like 2 live grenades, go. Kill people.
Was there a clearly best perk in each of
Best
the 3
perk in
tiers?
each tier.
Or do you think they could have been like shuffled a little bit so that people wouldn't have like?
Yeah, I think they could have been shuffled. Like in the newer games, they did shuffle them around to where like in the newer games, they added like lightweight and marathon.
Okay.
So like for instance, they had lightweight and marathon in the perk 1 section in the newer games, but they had both of them in the same perk area, so you couldn't use both of them.
Okay.
So like lightweight and marathon, if you use both of them together, you could just fly through the map. Like you run faster with lightweight, and you climb up ledges faster, and with marathon you can run forever. So you like never got exhausted. And, but they put them together so you couldn't use them. So I think that would be a great balance in the future. James?
Did you go over the grenade warning system?
No. That was actually, it was useful, like the indicator, the grenade indicator, but God, it didn't really help, especially if they're using martyrdom. Like, I mean, it helped a lot if you were playing regular games, not hardcore, and I mean, it is a part of the player too, because you can cook the grenades, and so they, let's say they have 3 seconds of timer on them, you can cook them for a second and a half, and throw them to where they explode in the air above the person, so they never have a chance to see the indicator. But the indicator was helpful, but it didn't really help you in martyrdom situations, because you can't see the indicator. I don't think it tells you around the corners. So like if you kill someone and then go around a corner, right on their body, boom, and you don't see it, and you see the indicator right when you run over their body, and it's already too late.
So do you think these it seems like there's a lot of mix between fast-paced abilities and slow-paced abilities, you know? Where you're supposed to be kind of more stealthy in the game, but the game just ends up being really fast-paced.
Yeah.
It seems like they're trying to slow it down a bit, but they're never going to do it. So do you think if they just get all fast-paced abilities, that would be better?
I think, like, the Call of Duties that they have now, the biggest problem is probably spawns and the maps now. Like, they need to hire a new map creator, because all maps suck. And they're... Well, they need new ones again.
new ones.
Yeah, new ones. Because, like, yeah, the original ones, yeah. When people who made these maps. Yeah, well, they should hire back. Because these maps were all, like, almost all of them were perfectly balanced. And they gave the player many different alleyways to run down. And so they're, like I said before, they're all the maps encompassed all the ranges in them. So you can use short range, you could snipe, you can use medium range weapons. And but like Jan said, all the Call of Duties has always been fast paced, and that's personally why I like them more than Battlefield. Because like Call of Duty is just so fast paced. There's more action. I mean, you die more, but it gets going faster, and it's just adrenaline's way better than Battlefield, I think. Because Battlefield is just like, the levels are way too big, and in Battlefield 4 there's way too much water in that damn game. I don't care if you can swim and stab someone with a knife out of the water. Jans. I will play Call of Duty. Thank you. Yeah. Like one of the levels, like in Battlefield, it's 80% water. And you just gotta hop from buildings to buildings.
Well, it's funny because one of their commercials or whatever, the guy is so excited about stabbing in water.
Yeah.
I was like, really? That's how you're promoting your game? About stabbing in water? Like, he was like in shock that he could do it. I was like,
Yeah.
what? The games have you been playing?
Yeah, and I actually, in the new, in Ghosts, they actually fixed knifing for once.
Wait,
They don't. No, there's still kind of a lunge, but it's not just swipe and you're dead. They actually made a good animation to it, to where you actually like dig in and you actually take a second to knife someone instead of just knife, keep running. And you actually have to stand there a second, dig in, and they pull back out. So it's a more realistic knife. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean like that it's like better.
Yeah, it's better.
I mean swiping at the jugular, come on.
No, swiping anywhere. You swipe their feet with a knife and they die.
Yeah, I know that.
But it's just like, that was the only animation. It was just...
We should have fixed the hitboxes.
Yeah, a lot of the hitboxes were kind of a majority of the problem.
Were they too big?
Yeah, a lot of the times. But it was a weird-ass hitbox for the knife.
Like I could knife him. I was saying, like...
Well, that was from Modern Warfare 2, when they added... Was that when they added Commando?
And then I moved it immediately after that.
Yeah. Commando was the stupidest perk. in the history of Call of Duty.
I know the one where like
You can knife people from 10 feet away. You just lunge. It's like the Halo sword. You just go knife them like from 10 feet away. Yeah, it was fun to use, but it was the stupidest perk. Yeah.
the knife should have its own system. Its own
It should have had a custom animation.
It's on what?
damage system. You know, like you have to swipe a couple more times if you get them in the wrong area.
Yeah, maybe it like if they could make it like Counter
I don't know
Strike,
why they never did that. Like, why did it always have to be like a
one hit kill.
Yeah.
Like they probably could have made it to where it was kind of like Counter Strike, to where you have to knife them multiple times, or like yeah, it's fun to use knives in Counter
Or
Strike.
unless they're running.
Knife fights in Counter Strike are fun, and then like they could have implemented that system to where you actually have to multiply or knife them. Like they could have implemented to where the guns have it, so you do more damage in certain areas. So if you knife them in the leg, like you're not gonna kill them, but if you like come behind them and knife them in the back of the neck, then it'll play the animation like they have in Ghost, to where it'll dig in. They could have combined that to make it more balanced. So depending on where you knife them, it would kill them or not.
How's Ghost doing, by the way? Is it selling alright? It's Count
Yeah,
Tuesday, right?
it's selling decently. It's always going to be a Call of Duty game.
Got
It
attacked
sells.
by critics really bad.
Because
Oh
of
yeah,
the
of
whole-
course it is.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Well,
Of
no,
course.
like
Oh.
Black Ops 2 was actually fairly well reviewed.
Yeah.
And everyone's saying that this was a step back from Black Ops 2.
Yeah, I just from watching it so far.
What's
The only
other
thing-
company?
What?
The other designer, Treyarch.
Treyarch,
Yeah.
who made Black Ops, yeah. And I mean, in the newer Call of Duties, like Modern Warfare 3, Infinity Ward tried to add something like zombies, so they can compete with Treyarch, which was like the survival mode, which it was fun for like a couple minutes, and then it got bored.
Oh.
If Infinity Ward can come up with something as innovative as zombies, brand new Call of Duty, basically, they would sell like hotcakes, pancakes. As they're good.
At this point, the critical opinion is Treyarch Call of Duty good, Infinity Ward Call of Duty bad.
Well,
That's
that,
usually the
like-
opinion right now.
But, like-
extension on the new Ghost.
Yeah, and the only thing I see really wrong with the multiplayer in Ghost right now are the dogs. It's the stupidest thing ever. Like they just one hit you. It's a 5 kill streak where you get a dog and he stands by you and he attacks people if they kill you and it takes like multiple rounds to kill the dog, and the dog just jumps up, bites you, you're dead. Like they should have an animation to where they grab your arm or something and you have to like mash a button or something to get the dog off and shoot it or something,
Yeah.
instead of just like, oh, jump up, dog dead. And it's just, the dog's like ridiculously OP in that game. And it's only a 5 kill streak. I think they can either do that with the animation, or they could have made it a higher kill streak, like a 7 or 9 kill streak.
Yeah, the one hit kill thing seems weird. It seems like the dog would be more likely to like knock you prone or like disarm
knock
you.
you prone, yeah. And you have to take out your pistol or something.
Yeah.
That would fix it, because like you can just run, you kill a guy and you didn't know he had a dog next to him. You run around the corner and the room just instant dead. Dog kills you. Yeah, but it shouldn't be an instant kill.
But then you should get a dog.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's stupid that it's an instant kill. Yes, you can get the dogs too and use them too.
The entire game is just set up to piss every single player off.
Yeah, but that's why I like it. It's fun to yell at the TV.
You know, in
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, like with the one hit kill mechanics, like especially with the knife, if you took that away, then what does that do to players who are focused around their knife? Like even with the current system and Ghosts with the animation, it does nothing to approach the balance of the knife in single combat because it's still the exact same as it used to be in the 1 versus 1. But the only thing it affects, it makes just using a knife not viable because you get killed after doing one knife kill, whereas before the knife was actually viable.
Well, I think it's more viable now. The knife, yeah, I've seen people get like 20 kill streaks and Ghosts with the knife. Just
Yeah, but
running
you have
around.
to be lucky because you have to go through that animation once you're completely.
Well, you don't get the animation every time. It's only, I'm pretty sure it's only if you come from them from behind. I haven't seen it. I don't think I've seen it every time.
It's the majority of the time.
It's the majority of the time, though, yeah.
And then you'll just swipe
But
it
it's
over.
not too long of an animation though. It's not like you're sitting there for an
It's
hour.
like a third of Battlefield's animation.
Yeah.
You
So-
go up and you go, and then you push them off, and then you go to the next one.
Yeah. So it's not too long of an animation. But like, if you're just running around with a knife anyways, you're stupid. Like it's a gunfight. Who brings a knife to a
It's
gunfight?
not
Right.
definitely been lower for
Into.
in Black Ops 2.
Oh.
My class was no weapons and all of the perks.
And another
so I was
thing,
centered around getting one kill with the knife and then taking a gun.
another thing that they could have done was like how they have throwing knives in the game right now. So I don't get why they can't just, instead of just having throwing knives on you, maybe make your knife a throwing knife too, to where you can have the option to throw your knife, like the actual like the first knife that you have, the big knife, like that. I think that would be cool.
Is it a question of realism?
They don't. It's not real anymore.
Yeah.
Like they never really had the realism down to a down pat.
With your face.
So
So cool. What do you mean by realism? Like, what's not realistic about it?
Well, there's like throwing knives designed for throwing.
yeah,
Okay.
that should always like balance out. Yeah. I mean,
Well, I'm saying, like, if you look at like a soldier, I'm sure they have all that kind of gear.
Yeah,
on
they
the
do.
battlefield. So, I mean, like, there's probably that one knife they always keep on them, no matter what.
like the one that you
Probably a
hold in.
disposable one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since they're going for that,
No,
that doesn't make kind of sense.
Yeah, it does.
It's just, I don't know. Just needs to be balanced.
It would just be. I think it's hard to balance shooter, and they need some new people at Infinity Ward to make better maps and balance out the game.
And that's
Which
you.
maybe it could be me.
What were you gonna say, Mark?
Since they're going for that, like, that arcade feel, that arcade shooter like Counter-Strike, having that like knife for everyone is just vital for the player to have, because everyone wants the same fundamental rules to
each
use,
player.
like, to go by. If we happen to use that knife to throw, I guess that'd be a pretty cool design aspect where the player like can't knife anymore, but would have to like pick that knife back up.
Like just saying like
Yeah.
if they have the ability to throw their main knife,
Mhm.
like if they know they're in a gunfight and they're out of ammo, and the other player, they know the other player has ammo. If they want to throw the knife, like instead of like they should be able to throw the knife instead of having to somehow figure out how to get behind this guy and run straight at him with your knife and knife him.
The only problem I see with that is it hampers like the basic mechanics of what Call of Duty is based on.
Yeah,
Like,
it does.
It's like close, like that's your go-to thing to use when someone's too close.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Well, that's what a lot of people
Like, it's just,
panic knife.
It's totally.
back in
It's totally
Call of Duty.
part of like the Call of Duty stuff.
The feel to it, yeah,
the
yeah.
feel. So I'm not sure what they would do if they were to
mix it up, yeah. I don't know. I think Infinity Ward. I think Activision needs to let them move on and make a new IP. Please.
Just give Trevor complete control.
Yeah, give Treyarch complete control over Call of Duty. Have them actually spend 3 or 4 years on every Call of Duty, and actually make it great, and then have Infinity Ward make a new IP. Everybody would be excited about a new IP from Infinity Ward.
I think that's supposed to be a Call of Duty killer. But
Yeah, it's making the
Yeah.
making more people that left the thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
All right.
Good.
Well, thank you. Any
Yep.
other questions or comments?
First Call of Duty and
I think
Whoa!
That was a weak clap.
That was great clap.
Sorry,
Yeah.
we're-